Hello everyone, my name is Kweku. I am a pharmacist. In today's video, I want to highlight 5 numbers that I believe if you are diabetic or if you are pre-diabetic, you should know about, or 5 numbers that you should be paying attention to if you are at a high risk of developing diabetes. The first one is your A1C. Now the A1C is a very important test that is used to either to diagnose diabetes or to tell how well your diabetes is being managed. It is an average of your blood sugar levels over a 2 to 3 month period. So it's definitely different from what you normally do, your normal daily sticks. An A1C of less than 5.7% is considered to be normal. Between 5.8 and 6.4% is considered pre-diabetes, and anything over that is over 6.5 is deemed to be diabetes. Now, while that is the definition, your individual goal may be dependent on your individual circumstances, your age, and other conditions that you may have. So your doctor may potentially have a different goal for you depending on your particular individual circumstance, but it's definitely a good number to be aware of, and especially to observe trends to see if you're trending in the right direction or you're trending in the wrong direction. Now, with all said, if your A1C consistently remains in the 8s, 9s, and 10s, that is an indication that your blood sugar or your diabetes is not being well managed. Number 2, know your fasting blood sugar. Now, the fasting blood sugar is your sugar reading after a fast, usually overnight when you haven't eaten anything for a prolonged period of time, typically the first reading that you take in the morning. In an ideal situation, you should aim to be 99 or below, that it's deemed normal. Between 100 and 125 is deemed to be pre-diabetic, and anything greater than that, that is 126 and over, is deemed to be diabetes. Number 3, random blood sugar test. Just like the name implies, it's a random test, a test that you take anytime that you're going about your daily activities. You shouldn't have fasted. It could be taken maybe 2-3 hours after food as you're going about your normal everyday routine. For that one, the goal is for you to be below 200. Anything more than 200 is not ideal and is skewing or maybe indicative of diabetes. Number 4, know your blood pressure. Now, it's expected that everybody keeps an eye on their blood pressure, but that is even more important for people who are diabetic. This is because if you're diabetic and you combine that with high blood pressure, that dramatically increases the risk of developing cardiovascular disease down the line. Now, a healthy blood pressure reading is defined at anything less than 120/80. Anything above that is considered elevated blood pressure. If it's between 130 to 139/80 to 89, that is deemed stage 1 hypertension. And then anything over that, that is anything greater than 140/90, is defined as stage 2 hypertension. Now, if you fall into any of these readings where that is considered elevated, so there are 2 things that you can do. You can either aggressively fight it with diet and exercise, or for some people, if it's too high and based on their other risk factors, they may be put on blood pressure medications, because it's quite important, like I mentioned earlier. Combining high blood pressure and diabetes is generally not a good combination. Number 5, know your cholesterol. High cholesterol may be bad for generally everybody. However, like I mentioned with blood pressure, it is more so especially for people with diabetes. Now, high cholesterol can lead to deposits of cholesterol in the inner linings of the arteries. It may increase your risk for cardiovascular diseases, just like an elevated blood pressure. Now, there are 2 main types of cholesterol. There are others, but we're going to focus on 2 main types. The LDL, which we normally call the bad cholesterol, and the ideal goal is to be below 100 for the LDLs. The HDL is the good cholesterol, which actually helps your body eliminate some of the bad cholesterol. And so you want a higher number for that one. So that one, we aim for you to be higher than 60. Now, another one worth mentioning is your triglycerides, which is another form of lipid or oil in the system, which also should be checked. And that ideally should be below 160 for somebody who has diabetes. Now, when it comes to management of diabetes, knowledge is power. Knowledge is everything. So I believe that by paying attention to these numbers, you will know where you are headed or where you are trending and make the right adjustments that are necessary. Thank you so much for staying through. Stay blessed. Catch you in the next video.